The galaxy was vast, filled with countless empires, civilizations, and councils that had risen and fallen long before humanity ever touched the stars. Laws governed this galaxy, treaties were signed, and rules were whispered from one generation to the next. Among those rules was a silent one passed in hushed voices between species. Never provoke the new ones. Never test humanity. But rules have a way of being forgotten. The Galactic Council, arrogant in its centuries of authority, believed itself unshakable. When humanity entered the stars, they were dismissed as just another young race, a small flame that would eventually dim. The Council expected Earth to bow, to pay tribute, to kneel under its weight. Humanity did not. That was their first mistake. Their second mistake was much worse. The Spark, the first human ambassador, Elias Arden, stood before the Council chambers on Vareth Prime. He was calm, polite, and respectful. He wore no armor, carried no weapon, just the flag of Earth upon his chest and the hope of peace in his voice. "We come to the stars not as conquerors," Elias had said, "but as equals. Let there be trade, let there be understanding, let there be peace." Many species in the chamber listened. Some nodded in agreement. But the Council's high speaker, an ancient being from the Karathi Dominion, sneered. "Peace?" the alien hissed. "Another primitive world asking for mercy. You are nothing, human. Nothing but a fragile species clinging to a dirt sphere." The insult did not anger Elias. He smiled politely and bowed. "Perhaps, but even fragile things can endure more than you think." The chamber echoed with laughter. The humans were dismissed, their request for equal membership denied. It might have ended there. An insult remembered, a door closed, but the Council made a fatal error. The Misstep 2 weeks later, a human trade ship, the Starlight Horizon, crossed into Council space, carrying food, medicine, and cultural goods. It was unarmed, peaceful. The Council's patrol ship intercepted it, demanding it turn back. The captain, a woman named Mara Vey, explained calmly that she was following standard travel routes, honoring all laws. She even opened her cargo to inspection, but the patrol captain, eager to show strength, made a choice. A cruel, arrogant choice. He ordered his guns to fire. The Starlight Horizon was torn apart in seconds, its 312 crew and passengers killed. No warning, no mercy. The wreckage was left to drift in silence, a cold grave among the stars. The Council thought nothing of it. To them it was a message. Humanity must learn its place. But to humanity, it was something else. It was a wound. A spark. A declaration of war. Humanity's wrath. The news reached Earth in less than a day. Broadcasts filled every screen, every home. Families wept, cities held vigils, and billions stood in silence as the names of the dead were read. Elias Arden, the ambassador who had begged for peace, stood before the United Terran Assembly. His voice trembled, but his words were steady. "They asked us to bow. We did not. They demanded we obey. We refused. And now, they have killed our sons and daughters. The Council believes this will break us, but they do not understand. We are human. And when you take from us, when you shed our blood, we do not break. We rise." The chamber erupted. Humanity did not send diplomats anymore. Humanity sent fleets. The war begins at first. The Council dismissed the human response. A single fleet left Earth's orbit, sleek and dark, its hulls bearing no markings except a single red star. Council leaders laughed. "Let them rage," they said. "They are small. They are weak." But the first battle proved otherwise. When the Council fleet of 50 ships ambushed the humans at the Daros Gate, only 5 human vessels faced them. The Council expected slaughter. Instead, they witnessed horror. Human ships fought like predators, not prey. They moved with ruthless coordination, trading blows that shattered shields and ripped through armor. Where the Council fired to disable, humanity fired to kill. Where the Council fought to intimidate, humanity fought to end. In 20 minutes, the Council fleet was gone. 50 ships reduced to burning wreckage while the 5 human vessels emerged scarred but alive. The galaxy trembled. The middle conflict weeks turned to months. Humanity did not simply retaliate. They hunted. Every outpost, tied to the patrol ship's fleet, was found and destroyed. Every supply chain that armed the aggressors was cut apart. Human warships moved like ghosts, striking and vanishing before the Council could react. The Council panicked. For centuries, no species had dared to defy them. And yet, here was humanity, outnumbered, outgunned and unafraid. "What drives them?" asked a Council commander in despair. The answer came from a captured human soldier, bloodied but smiling. "You killed our families," she whispered. "You don't walk away from that. Ever." The turning point, the Council tried diplomacy. They offered reparations, apologies whispered through clenched teeth. But humanity did not listen. Not yet. Then came the Battle of Varith Prime, the very heart of Council power. They believed humanity would never dare strike so deep. They were wrong. 10 human fleets entered the system. Not 1, not 2, 10. The sight alone broke the will of dozens of lesser species allied with the Council. Some surrendered on the spot. Others fled. The humans did not target civilians, nor did they burn cities. They targeted only the Council's fleets, stations, and fortresses. Precision, relentless, surgical destruction. By the end, Varith Prime was surrounded by debris fields of Council ships. The great chambers that once mocked Elias Arden stood, silent, its walls cracked from orbital bombardment. The Council begged for mercy. The lesson Elias Arden returned, not as a diplomat but as humanity's voice of judgment. He stood once more in the chamber, though half of it now lay in ruins. The Mabri? Council members bowed their heads in shame, unable to meet his eyes. "You laughed at peace," Elias said, his voice echoing. "You thought us weak. You thought killing our people would silence us. Instead, you taught us that peace must be defended with strength. And you reminded us of who we are." He raised a hand, showing the names of the dead from the starlight. "Horizon. We do not forget. We do not forgive lightly. And we do not kneel." Silence filled the chamber. No one laughed. No one mocked. The galaxy finally understood. The ending. The war ended not because humanity was defeated, but because humanity chose to stop. They had proved their point. No one could strike them without consequence. The Council signed new treaties, this time, not with arrogance but with fear and respect. Humanity was given a seat, not as a junior member but as an equal, because they had forced the galaxy to recognize their strength. And yet, humanity did not celebrate victory. They mourned. They built monuments for the lost. They remembered the starlight horizon not as a reason for vengeance, but as the reminder of what happens when peace is broken. Across the galaxy, species whispered a new rule, one never to be forgotten. Do not make the mistake of waking humanity's wrath, for they will rise, and when they rise, the stars themselves tremble. Closing words, and so the story was written in the stars. The Galactic Council's misstep was simple, an attack born of arrogance. But from that mistake came fire, a fire called humanity, a fire that could burn worlds but also light the path toward peace if treated with respect. For in the end, humanity was not the galaxy's enemy. Humanity was its warning.